Republicans are split still. Now we're hearing they're not going to get a vote until next week on the new replacement repeal of Obamacare. Next week at the earliest, that would be. Who's to blame for this delay? House Freedom Caucus member Louis Gohmert was on this program last hour. Listen to what he told me.
But it's almost as if there was some kind of force in the Republican Party that did not want to see Trump succeed. I know that sounds crazy, but it's almost like that.
Well, joining me now, Republican Congressman Chris Collins. Louis Gohmert is implying some kind of traitor section of the Republican Party. What do you make of that?
Oh, I'll have to respectfully disagree with Louis. He's a good friend of mine, but I don't see that at all. This is actually, Stuart, comes down to some fundamentals, the ideology of the Freedom Caucus versus, I would say, the common sense approach of many of the rest of us. The Freedom Caucus wanted call it a clean repeal of Obamacare, going back 7 years to where we were, not dealing with pre-existing conditions, the expansion of Medicaid that took place in 31 states, things like community rating and guaranteed issue. They wanted to go back to just eliminate Obamacare, make believe it never occurred. We'll go back 7 years. You know, Stuart, we've lived with Obamacare for 7 years. We did expand Medicaid in 31 states, 14 of which have Republican governors. So we can't make believe that we can go back. So this is where the discussion, call it the compromise, which is not a bad word, has occurred, and we've come up with a compromise with some states' rights issues, which are important to the Freedom Caucus, 10th Amendment, allowing governors a limited option to waive out of some of the essential health benefits, but doing so with scrutiny by the HHS. Well, Chris, we're very close to getting it done, but this is not saying that someone is trying to put a stick in the eye of Donald Trump.
Now, you say again, very close to getting it done. You know, we have been hearing that for a long time now.
Yes, we have.
Handicap it for me. What are the chances of getting it done next week?
You know, I hate to handicap it, but I'm going to give it a 90-10 that we will. We're down to just a handful of votes, and some folks have, I think, misunderstandings of what the MacArthur Amendment does with the limited waiver opportunity on essential health benefits. And I think as they have the time to sit down with the leadership team and talk through exactly how this amendment will work, we will get those 5 or 6 members on board, and that's what we need to get this over the hurdle. We're not going to get any Democrat votes. We need about 215 Republicans, and we are very, very close to her.
The standing of the Republican Party is at stake.
It is.
Because if there's another failure, I would call this the fact that we're not having a vote today or tomorrow. I think that's the second failure. Another one is just too much. I mean, the standing of the Republican Party would really fall through the floor if that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hung up on whether it was done today or next Friday. As long as we get it done, we fulfill a campaign promise that every one of us on the Republican side have made. The president made a campaign promise. America put us in charge. We owe it to America to get this done, at the same time making sure that health care works for all Americans. We're very close to it, but I couldn't agree more. It's an obligation of the Republican Party to deliver on the repeal and replacement of Obamacare.
And you're down to just 5 or 6 votes. That's all it takes. You need 5 more, and you'll get to the 215, 216. Okay. I'm sure there'll be some sausage making this weekend, and I'm sure you'll be right in the middle of it. Chris Collins, thank you so much for being with us all these years on the program. We do appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Good to be with you, Stuart.
Yes, sir.